Today in Mind Matters, you've probably seen some decals and wondered what they're for. Well, they represent the Friends of the Community program that promotes better communication between law enforcement and people with special needs. So joining us now to explain is Sergeant Matt Hanna of the Bossier City Police Department. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes,
this is a really great program. Let's talk about the need for the decal program that you guys have seen.
Yes, ma'am. So the purpose of the program is to help law enforcement identify those within the community that are living with a mental illness. So with that, you can place a decal on your house, on the front door of your house, or on the back window of your car. Mm-hmm. This helps law enforcement understand that, hey, look, there might be somebody in that vehicle or in that house that lives with a mental illness.
And it kind of helps you address how you approach a situation depending on what different people's needs are.
Yes, ma'am. So the communication there is sometimes limited because maybe you're dealing with somebody that has autism. They're afraid, they don't understand, they have trouble communicating anyway. This will help law enforcement identify those problems.
It really helps out, and there are so many different decals. You brought some of them here with us today. So we have one for autism. You have one for schizophrenia, Down syndrome, one for if someone is deaf, someone with dementia, someone maybe even with PTSD,
yes, ma'am,
or an intellectual development disability, or even bipolar.
Yes, ma'am.
So you guys have really thought of everything there, making sure that you have the best way to approach a situation. Now, Bossier City is not the only department that's been involved in this kind of program. So let's talk a little bit about how it got started and how you guys got involved.
Yes, ma'am. So Bossier City Police Department, Shreveport Police, and Caddo Sheriff's Office have partnered in this particular program.
So what kind of support have you seen from the community? What's the community's response been for this?
So it's relatively new for us. So we have, I know in Bossier City, we probably passed out maybe a dozen or two of the decals. Shreveport a little more so. Mm-hmm. So as the information gets pushed out, I think the program's going to grow.
I think so too. And you mentioned something that I hadn't even thought of. I was just thinking about maybe putting them on a vehicle in case you have an interaction. Let's say there's an accident or maybe somebody is pulled over to the side of the road. But you mentioned putting them on, your front door or the front window of your house. So in case there is an emergency and a first responder has to enter, they're aware of the situation. Yes,
ma'am. And also with the decal, if the consumer or the loved one wants their information shared with 911, there's some questions that can be provided for the 911 center, and that can be inputted at those addresses. So before law enforcement even shows up, maybe if it's something that triggers them or something that calms them down, mm-hmm, whatever the situation may be, the consumer or the loved one can share that information.
That's a really thoughtful process, and I'm so glad you mentioned that. It's a really great concept, and it's a great idea for everyone who may need one of these. If you've got a family member who may struggle with some of these issues or illnesses, this is something that you can go ahead and make sure that you're doing to keep everyone safe. But how can we get one of the decals?
So you can pick them up at the Bossier City Police Department. Mm-hmm. I have some addresses here also. Bossier City Police Department, 620 Benton Road. Community-Oriented Policing Bureau with SPD, with Shreveport Police, and then any of the substations, Safety Town, or the Community Relations Center with Caddo Sheriff's Office.
Okay, fantastic. And if anybody has any questions about the decals and who may be the right fit and where they should go, can they just reach out to you guys as well?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in and sharing
Yes,
this today. I think this is something that our community could really benefit from.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.